Before we move on, let me repeat what we're trying to achieve. We are trying to create a script where we start the application and make certain tests on the application, make sure that the application works correctly. We have learned the increment decrement button and the text field, which means that we have the ability to click, we have the ability to read the value of the text field. We also need to start the application somehow and then leave the various tests. So what we try to achieve is start the application, check whether the application came up, is the value 0, increment, did the value change to 1, decrement, did the value change back to 0. If we decrement again, remember the business rule, we do not want it to go below 0, so it should remain 0. This is what we're trying to achieve. When we learn the object, we got to know about some of these objects, but we're also missing the ability to create the application or start up the application. We're also missing the ability to read values, and we have to do that through commands. And we'll take a look at that as we move on in the lesson. Here we see a fully populated grid. That is the end result of this full lesson. And I want to point out that what you saw earlier was just a few of these columns. We have much more columns. There are a set of other columns that we need. And I'm going to show you how to create these columns, but what they deal with is how to start the application and how to check the values. Now the increment, decrement and the counter box that are not highlighted here, we created during the learning phase. I'm going to demo 4 things for you that we'll learn much more about in later lessons. But I'm going to show you how you can create a command, and we need command to start the application and read the value of the counter. I'm going to teach you how to define an input column. And the reason why we need an input column is so that we can enter the expected values at various stages throughout the script. I'm also going to teach you how to create an output column. This is a convenient way of displaying a value. And I'm also going to teach you a comparison column. And the reason why we want that is so that we can compare the input column, that is the expected value, to the output column, which is where we're going to store the value we read from the counter.